Another episode of Mobbin Mike. Just pulled out the alternator to the RV. About to go get a new one. Pop it in there. I thought that it was drawing or not charging my batteries, and without having them pulled out and tested, because I was living on the road at the time and I didn't have a tester, I decided to get 2 new batteries and just replace them, and just to see if I could start there. And then I pulled those batteries out and they were still good and they were still holding charge. So I put those to the side inside, and so I can't run the power very long because it's just running off batteries. I need to jump it almost every single time. When I first got it, if I moved it like every other day, I was okay. But yeah, I didn't do that for a while. I found a good spot where I could sit and hang out for a little while, so it would die almost every other day. So I would have to jump it before I went anywhere and had to move it. So now that I've moved into this spot and had a little spot to wrench and go at things, because you're not allowed to wrench on the street, and let alone, I don't have a license, so I shouldn't even be out there to begin with. So if I get stopped, it's even worse, and I don't want to lose my house. So I just toughed it out and had to jump it every time that I wanted to move it, but I'd have to be secretive about it and kind of rock and roll. I carry a good thick set of jumper cables just in case. The small ones just draw too much power and they heat up. It's not too good, especially not for something this big. But my Camry was jumping in no problem. And that was a little 4-cylinder. So anything other than that works pretty solid. So I just pulled it out for the bracket bolt for the tensioner bolt. It's a 1/2 inch, and then it's a 9/16 for the actual mounting bolt. Then you're gonna need a flathead so you can pop off the sensors, and you're gonna need it's a 10 on the back side for the power that you're getting to the alternator, which is right here. 10 9/16 1/2 inch. So it took me the 1/2 inch breaker bar too, and the 1/2 inch socket to really kind of get them going, because they were stuck in there pretty good. But then after that, I was able to drop it down to 3/8 9/16 and then kind of work it out. But I still had to throw an extension on, and I was laying under it up in the wheel well. And I also, just to break them, I was sitting in inside the doghouse, laying inside the doghouse over the motor. I disconnected the air box, or the air hoses, the intake hoses. I disconnected these so they'd be a little bit more out of my way, but it didn't really make too much of a difference. The alternator was was sitting right there, so it was kind of easy to access, but then it was like just hard to get any throw on anything. So you got to use the big boy just to convince it to come loose. And they've also probably never been replaced. My RV only has 43,000 miles on it, so it was pretty much babied most of its life. It's a 97, so let's see, 2017, that's another 10 years. We're pretty deep in the issue. So I'm just gonna go ahead and head down to O'Reilly's right now, grab a new alternator, come back, pop it in, connect the battery back on, and probably gonna let it sit on a charger for a second, or bring a car in here with some cables, just so it won't go like super dead dry start, because the batteries were drained last time that I used it, and last time I was using the house batteries and everything. So yeah, stay tuned. All right, so we got it back in after some hours and waiting an hour at O'Reilly's. And so I asked the guy over there, because I'm trying to figure it out. It's hard to find this RV isn't, you got to know what motor brand that your RV is carrying. It's either Ford or Chevy, because when you go down there, these are not in their database. So I chucked it around, and it's a F350 with the 460 in it. So the guy said there was a 95 amp alternator, and they had a refurbished one, or they had 2 refurbished 130s. And so I told him, well, bring them all out. I want to see which, I want to take a look at them. And so he brings me out this 95, right? And he's like, oh, that's it right there. And I'm like, first of all, this one's cracked, and so I don't want this one regardless. And I said, second of all, this isn't even the right size. The bolts don't line up. The bolt holes don't line up. So I told him, and he's like, I said, can you grab the other one? He said, well, I'm telling you, it's going to be the same one. I said, okay, but just, can I check it out? Can you go pull it out? He's like, well, I mean, it's the same one. It's the same thing in the computer. I said, how is a 130 amp the same as a 95 amp? It's the same size. I said, bro, can you just, please, I'd appreciate it if you could go grab that for me, just so I could double check. It'd be awesome. So he finally goes and gets it. And of course it's the 130, right? So this asshole's looking at me like a smart ass. Then he's like slamming the old one in. I'm like, hey, do I get a core charge for that? He's like, yeah. Being all short answer, and he's hella rude with his bleach blonde little dyed hair idiot that he was trying to go for. Anyway, so he's being a hater. I finally get it done. 160 bucks. I'm out the door, back over, put it together, but it's being a pain in the butt on the bottom bolt, on the like set bolt. But after I got it done, shimmied everything up, snugged it all up tight. Then then I put the mud flap back together, because the mud flap, I moved it out of the way so I could get up into the wheel well without taking the wheel off. And then hit it from the top in the doghouse. So everything's all together, but before I wanted to start it, and before I wanted to charge it and everything, I went and I got gas. I just got back from getting gas. I only got a 2-galloner and a 5-galloner. When my boat got towed like a year ago or so. Damn, it might have been 2 years now. But since it got towed, I had like 6 gas cans in there, and so kind of sucks starting over from scratch. But I got 2, and so I filled them up, and then I got the Lucas Oil fuel treatment system that I threw in there already, and now we're gonna put some gas in there, throw it on the charger, and see if we can't start it and let it charge itself for a little bit, so I could get some house power and get a start on its own. Damn, I should have grabbed the phone right beforehand just so I could do a turnkey video, but I threw the jumper box on it. It did 1 turn, boom, fired right away. I'm excited. No squeaks on the belt, no nothing. So obviously, seems like we're good to go. We're gonna let, I got both the aux and so that's the house batteries, and I got the main battery going. I got 1 main battery, and then I got 2 house batteries. I'm gonna let it run for like 15-20 minutes, but what I'm gonna do first, close this up, close up the hood, the engine, it's not even a hood, it's like a little hatch latch thing. Normally you lock it, but I've had to jump it so many times I generally keep it unlocked, but I'll be locking it again now that I got it dialed. Oh, I'm excited. So that's another episode of Mobbin with Mike. Just fixed the alternator. Next thing we're gonna do is we're gonna cut open the carpet and lay down the linoleum. Yeah! So there we go, idling like a charm. A little bit of fuel, running cool, normal temp, good volts. Oh yeah, listen to her purr. The quartz hours. That's it? Only 9:13? Ugh. And I hope you can see that. Oh, I said 43. It's 44. 2541. Not bad at all. We're gonna be running for a little bit, baby. Gotta run it good. Run it hard. You are Mobbin with Mike. Like, comment, subscribe down at the bottom, and please let me know how it goes.